Hi, everyone. My name is Jonathan Echavarria. I'm here with North Jersey FC. We have a very special guest. Today, we're introducing our sporting director, Besmir Zuta. We're going to talk to him for a few minutes, ask him about his background, and get to know him a little bit better. So, Besmir, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, John. Thanks us for having me, I guess.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. This is, our first coach bio video, and this is, something a little more informal, something parents and players, who might be interested in the club, are interested in getting to know more about me and the club, are going to be able to use as a great resource. I'm looking forward to some of the questions you have for me. It's been 2.5 years now. We're in our third season, since the takeover and the transition from, the North Jersey FC of old to, the modern day club. Just super excited. It's been a heck of a journey. We've built a team of wonderful administrators and club coaches and players and parents and their families. So, hopefully they'll get to know a little bit more about me now too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a special culture that I'm definitely building here. So yeah, we just want to ask you, Biz, right? Really from the beginning. Well, what made you fall in love with the game? I know you've made it to this point and there's still much more to go, but we just want to hear a little more about the beginnings of your passion for the game.
So I grew up in a family that idolized the beautiful game. My dad's side of the family, former professionals, playing everything from Sunday league to the professional levels of the game in former Yugoslavia, modern day Northern Macedonia. I had an uncle who played abroad in Sweden. I have family members that played college soccer here and helped find, our Sunday league team, Vlasnimi, all Albanian men's team that, has been around since the 70s. So it's part of the DNA. It's part of the DNA. My earliest memories of being with my father are waking up on Sunday mornings, and when all the other kids were going to, the Albanian school and, going to learn the language and stuff, we were going to watch the men's team play and whatnot. We're watching Premier League games on the weekends with my dad. He'd lay on the couch in the living room watching the game. My mom would complain that, we got stuff to do. We can't be watching soccer all day, but she still does. It's whenever we have the free time, it's all about soccer. But, building relationships with my older brother, he introduced me to playing the sport. And early on, my coaching career, I, made the transition to coaching because I loved being a captain and the leader of a team. And I realized early on when I started to give back to the roots of where I started playing rec soccer in Wayne, I really had a passion for it. And on the pitch, I can impact the game.
Yeah.
As a coach, I can impact people's lives and at such a higher level. So, I also wasn't the world's greatest player. I wasn't going pro or anything like that. I wasn't making it big time.
That's modest of you.
It's the truth. So be able to get into coaching right away, that passion, it's part of my DNA. It's part of my DNA. We're a footballing family. We're all soccer junkies.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's soccer junkie. I know that's a big part of the culture at NJFC.
Yeah, for sure.
Creating more soccer junkies, letting the soccer junkies really find a home.
Yeah,
I think that's a big.
The more soccer, the merrier, baby.
A lot of times we're in, especially now in the United States, we're in a place where the sport is developing, but it still needs a lot of
that little kick in the butt, sometimes. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and I know you're also you're a big Chelsea fan, right? Chelsea Football Club.
Oh, we bleed blue in the Zuta household.
So there's no coincidence that the.
Yeah. We got the blue everywhere. Listen. My dad, huge Chelsea supporter for my entire life. Luckily they started, Abramovich came in and bought the club in the early 2000s and made us relevant again, or for the first time. We're not glory hunters. We're going through a tough period right now, but it's all right. It makes us stronger. Chelsea, some of my inspirations are former Chelsea managers.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get into a bit about that later, but Carlo Ancelotti, current Real Madrid manager, the unemployed Jose Mourinho, a lot of these people, former Chelsea players on and off the pitch being great people, a lot of people I look up to, and I aspire to be like.
Absolutely. That's good. I like that. I mean, it's really great to see that all of this inspirations. I know that your passion and bleeds through everything that you do. So that's why I wanted to say you also been with FDU, right? Fairleigh Dickinson for how many years now?
So we just finished our 5th year. I'm the assistant men's coach at FDU Florham here, Division III in Madison, New Jersey, where luckily the club does a lot of training out of in the gym and on the turf pitches. I also spent a season at City College of New York in Harlem, which was a fantastic experience working under former, let's say, recruiter. He tried to recruit me, but long time family friend, Roberto Ignacolo, legend in the New York, New Jersey metro area.
Oh, wow.
Worked alongside our director of goalkeeping, Ty Kukuk, who is a Hall of Fame. He won't tell you this, but we'll bring it up during his coaching bio video. Hall of Fame goalkeeper and longtime assistant coach there. Made the transition to my alma mater as the new coaching staff came in with Keith O'Connor, and he brought in Reed Meeker as well. And we just added Josh Spivak to the staff this year. I get to eat, sleep, and breathe football every day of my life, and it is brilliant. Can't ask for better people to be doing this with and be on the ride with. Now that I've been able to see kids, 2 great examples, Jonathan Shirley, Drill and Tosca at FDU.
Wow.
I've coached them now for 7 years. Throughout high school, they played club soccer for me. They were good enough to come to play in college. They just finished their junior year, a great junior year for both of them. And we're heading into a massive senior year. That'll be the 8th year I'll have coached these boys. Fantastic gentlemen, off the pitch, on the pitch, dynamite players. Going to help us push for a conference title next year.
Wow.
And it's become more than just about the game. These boys are like family. They're like family. And, it helps that Drillin and I might be related somewhere down the line, because we're both Albanian. But, soccer, football has a way of transcending just what happens on the pitch for 90 minutes or 80 minutes, whatever it might be, and being able to be at the college has helped me just continue to live that life of football.
Yeah, that's great. Wow. I'm sure there's a lot of times where you're just in awe of not only the growth, but just certainly times where it's just spectacular. Like the players you've seen develop, we've talked about this before, where you've had guys from, 6th, 7th grade or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're knowing them from very, very young. So I guess one of the questions I had for you is what's one of your most memorable moments of your coaching career, specifically on the club level? Because I know you've had a long history with working with the clubs and, different clubs here.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's
just one of them. I know there's a lot.
Every season, every team, every player, helps create memorable experiences and moments. I can talk about the time my U19 boys team at my former club, drew in the second round of the State Cup, the number 1 ranked team in the country. And we went up 1-0 and, had a moment to go up 2-0 and a guy didn't get sent off. Bunch of controversy. They came back. The best team in the country beat us 2-1. I still have, one of our current coaches, Christian Vrionis, his dad, every time he sees me, comes up to me, "Hey, coach, that's still the best game I've ever seen." It was just one of those memorable experiences. Guys from that team who I shared that experience with are now Keyshawn, who scored the goal against that team in that game, is now the assistant coach over at Clifton High School, the fantastic Clifton High School program under Coach Stan Lembrick there. Christian Vrionis is working for us. Michael Algeri's another Clifton High School assistant coach. They're everywhere. Those guys are everywhere. Guys that went on to play in college, I still keep in contact with. That game was all about that main big opponent we played against. But then there's just the smaller moments. The first time a kid who, Ryan Pennington, I'll give a shout out to, was one of those players, and he knows this. Ryan, if you watch this, I'll text you to let you know to come watch this video. He was one of those players when I first joined what would now become North Jersey FC. He was one of those players where there was a little pat on the back. "Hey, Ryan, go get him. Go work hard out there. Go chase the defenders and go press." That kid going from that to there was the one game we were playing at home at Stony Brook, one of our home fields. He hit a first-time finish rocket.
Oh, boy.
And celebrated. He was out flexing, right to the field. Pure euphoria. Everyone lost their mind. A kid who was a pat on the back, good job for working hard kind of player, went from that to hitting a game winner, being a main cog in the defense. Went on to have a stellar high school varsity career, and somebody who I still keep in contact with, who is away at college, not playing, sadly, but he actually is trying to walk onto his team now after a year off, thinking, wow, I really want to try getting back into this. But the player and person development, that one moment where you see the change that, changes happen every day, little changes.
Yeah.
But when you see all those small changes come together in one big bang moment, it's joy. It's pure joy. It's something I'm always proud to see. I love when I'm getting FaceTime calls from players who I haven't coached in a year, 2, 3, 4 years. FaceTime calls or random texts. Hey, coach, how are you? I just thinking about you. Really want to thank you, and can I use you as a reference, and can I do this? And that's the kind of stuff that those relationships, knowing that I made a change,
right?
That overall is one massive experience that I'm so proud of.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's something that I think we're kind of diving a little more into the philosophy, and which is something I did want to touch on briefly, Besmir, because we were talking about the climactic moments, the highs, right, of the game-winning moments, the 90-minute screamer.
Yeah.
But I think it could benefit a lot of our audience as well, talking about some of the guys who are transitioning perhaps from high school to college. They're going through some difficult times. I just want to ask you, in your philosophy or in your mindset, what can you say or offer in terms of maybe in the low moments, the dark moments, for some of these guys that are going through their careers, maybe they want to give up on soccer, because I know there's some guys that, they're going through some tough times. Maybe you can share your mindset a little bit about that, the adversity, and how to deal with it.
Yeah. And so for those of you watching, I'll speak to you directly here. Let's look at the statistics. It's almost impossible that you're going to play professional soccer. Those are the statistics speaking, not me. The average career of a good footballer in this country at the highest level is college soccer. So up until you're 22 years old. And then if you're lucky, you can go play at a high amateur level, maybe at a low professional level. But the odds of making to, being on TV in MLS or the Premier League or playing for your national team is slim to none, is next to impossible. So you have a finite amount of time in your life where you can work hard and push through and go for glory in the sport and play for something that's bigger than you, being a part of something that is greater than just your being and your person and your personal goals. When you're going through that tough time, understand it's part of the journey, and it's going to make the result feel so much better, and that you don't have all the time in the world to dwell on your low. Right? If your goal is to play college soccer, you don't have your entire life to play college soccer and be successful. You don't have your entire life to play youth soccer. Right? You'll come and play Sunday league and stuff. That stuff is great and all. But high school soccer, club soccer at the youth level, college soccer, your competitive playing career as a whole is finite. You don't want to be 50 years old and thinking, wow, I can't believe I quit when I hit that rough patch. You don't have all the time in the world. You can't pick it back up at 50 years old and be like, yeah, I want to give this a go again. That's not how it works. It's every action has a reaction. So if you're hitting a low now and you've hit rock bottom, you can't go lower. That action of hitting that rock bottom is going to be followed by an ascension after you've descended so far down. You have a finite period of time. You have to understand that if you stop now, your journey is over. But if you hit rock bottom, you can't go any further. So start working again, start going again, one step at a time, because you don't have all the time in the world. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's powerful. And I think that's precisely why I want to ask you that kind of question, because questions like that and thoughts like that are just very, very powerful for, like we're talking about, young players who perhaps are in a dark place, but they have that support. That's why North Jersey FC really has that culture, of course, of love and support, but it's a lot of tough love. And I've known Les for some years now, and I know it's very, very tough love, but it's necessary.
So John is dancing around my favorite quote. This is a dictatorship. So I believe that there needs to be a very good mix, a very well-balanced approach where there is structure and freedom, discipline and freedom. There needs to be a good balance. There are times where I said we're doing this. Your opinion right now doesn't matter. It's the truth. Then there's other times where their opinions are what lead the discussion or the training session. You know, it's a tough world for today's youth. Some places they get too much structure, some they get none at all. Some places, we have to try to find that sweet spot where we can cater to each individual player and treat them all the same, but understand that they all have different needs. So that I know it always strikes parents and new players when, the first time, hey guys, let's remember this is a dictatorship. I'm in charge. I'm never wrong. Now, oftentimes I'm very wrong. That's, tactically and starting lineups and, but it's the idea that we need to find that middle ground, right? And it's funny that we talk about we're a home for players who have maybe lost their love of the game. They've hit a lull, right? The lotus is right here at the top of our logo. The lotus is a symbol of rebirth, of even in the murkiest waters, it finds a way to blossom, right? That's kind of what we try to do at the club. Provide a place where players have hit their low, have lost their love of the game, can come back, start over, start anew, start fresh, and find their love of the game again. Or they've hit a low, and hey, we're just going to keep working. We're going to take it slowly, and we are going to fight through the muddy waters to blossom. That's the lotus wasn't just thrown there to look nice. It was meaningful for us, and that's our club philosophy is that of the lotus, the symbolism the lotus brings.
A rebirth of just being able to come from a dark place, bad place, and then just being able to blossom again. It doesn't matter the environment, doesn't matter where you come from, and that's something that's, again, powerful. I really just appreciate being able to talk to you about that because, again, it's your coaching, it's your philosophy. But that's one of the things that's pure about Besmir's leadership is that he really cares, because that's one of the things I've noticed. Leadership is not just pointing the fingers. It's not just pointing the finger. I mean, he can point the finger, but it's just a matter of, and that's something that's why I wanted to bounce off of the Chelsea thing. I know we spoke about Chelsea briefly, but I wanted to just kind of bounce off of that point of like your favorite managers of really just Chelsea history, some of you guys, people you admire, and then maybe just our inspiration. You can talk a little bit about that, about someone that.
So, yeah, thanks. I love talking about Chelsea. It's really the Chelsea propaganda. Coach Artie's in the other room right now, and he's sitting there, and he's hearing me spew the Chelsea propaganda, and he's probably throwing things around, but it's all right. When it's his time to make the video, he can step in, and he can say whatever he wants about Manchester United. Now, at Chelsea, there's two things that I love about Chelsea Football Club, and that is nothing is bigger than the club. That's the first main idea I take from that club. The club needs to win. The club needs to always win. We hit a rough patch, we rebuild, we go again. We bring a new manager in. We have standards that the club needs to meet, and no one stands in the way of those standards. Now, it comes with its own little caveats where, sometimes they misstep. Right now, every other game seems like a misstep. But, they've let go and they fire some of the greatest managers in history. Not just in the game today, in history. Carlo Ancelotti finishes second in the league. He gets sacked. It's the idea that no one is bigger than the club is what I love about Chelsea Football Club. And my greatest inspiration, Jose Mourinho.
The special one.
He's unreal. Anyone that has had Mourinho manage their team, once you've had a taste of Mourinho, you get addicted. He's a drug. He really is. We've had him twice at Chelsea. I would take him a third time if they sacked Pochettino.
We might have to have another episode just on Jose Mourinho, by the way.
Oh,
I think
brilliant. Just, but let me give you a great example. Mourinho was all about doing what the team needs to do to win. Direct. If you watch when he was at Spurs, the documentary, All In, right? Whatever, All In, I think it was called. It was on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
yeah,
check it out.
And you watch behind the scenes with Tottenham Hotspur, and when he was at Spurs, the kind of person he is, he was obsessed with success, and he was obsessed with succeeding and making the people around him better. He was out there setting up all the cones himself for a training session. He was out there in the rain running sessions, not passing it off to assistants. He was there breaking games down. He was there arguing with referees. He was there doing knee slides into the corner in his suit, celebrating goals.
Iconic.
He's just my idol. There are other coaches that honestly may be better technically or whatever, but he does whatever it takes to win. He believes in tough love for those who need it. There was a great example. I'm trying to think of which player it was recently that came out and spoke. Oh, it was Peter Cech. He was recently on Sky Sports.
Right.
And he talks about how Mourinho would come to us and say, hey, guys, this is what I feel. This is what I've seen. This is what I need from you guys. But just so you know, I'm going to go into this press conference and I'm going to say some crazy stuff. He goes, I'm going to call some of you guys out. I'm going to make it seem like we're in a disarray. Let them think that. I'm not just going to go out there and blindside you guys. This is the reality, but this is what we're going to make everyone else see. Because you know what? It's us versus the world.
Oh, wow.
It's us versus the world. And that unity that he brings to every team he's in, there's a reason supporters love Mourinho. His players love him. The players that don't love Jose are the ones who can't handle the truth. Some of the biggest egos and the biggest superstars, Cristiano Ronaldo, the entire Chelsea squad,
Sergio
Ramos, look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the lunatic that is Mario Balotelli. Not just great players, but egos, right? Big egos. Who's managed them better than Mourinho?
I can.
Who can manage Mario Balotelli? The dude that sets fireworks off in his bathroom,
Not even,
no one.
cheating.
No one. No one. The relationships Mourinho builds, when he first left Chelsea in his first stint in the early 2000s, he had grown men crying in the locker room. Didier Drogba, who was known for his fierceness and his physicality and how aggressive he was, big, fast, strong, pacey, a heck of a finisher, a beast, scary.
Yeah.
For every defender that faced him. He was in tears when Mourinho left. John Terry, Frank Lampard, all these guys broke down. Look at the Roma faithful now. Look at the Roma faithful. Turning on the board because they sacked Mourinho. The cohesion he builds and the unity he brings is for one reason. Because he cares. Because he cares. He believes in extreme loyalty. This is my...
That's it.
It is the building block for which I live my life. Extreme loyalty to the people that are with me, around me, and I work with and work for.
It doesn't matter the result.
No, it doesn't matter. It is always us against the world. We lost together. We won together.
That's powerful.
We work hard together. We get punished together.
That's amazing.
It is extreme loyalty together till the end. And that's the one thing I've taken from Mourinho that I believe, is my strongest characteristic in my coaching is the relationships I build. And that's the one thing I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
All the trophies and leagues and all this other stuff we've won, none of it matters at the end of the day. They're just trophies in the trophy case in my office at home. But when I'm sitting there and it's spring break and I get a phone call from a kid who I haven't coached in 2 years and he wants to go grab lunch and catch up, that's the kind of stuff. That's the trophies help the ego. Those relationships help the soul. They help continue that passion, that fire. And that's what our club's about. Player development, making them better players and winning, but primarily the player experience. You can lose every game. and still have had a good experience that season.
Yeah.
You know, you can lose every game and still be getting better. You know, you can be down 4-0 and still take positives away from the game. Not saying that being angry and being upset doesn't come with it. Those emotions are all part of the game.
Right.
But the way you build your relationships, that is what player experience is all about. And that is what our club stands on.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have seen some of those clips where even when Jose Mourinho left Inter, for example, the guys broke down. They went to look.
Mourinho cried when he left, right? He went to Real.
That's right.
It was after the Champions League final. They had won. He didn't even get on the bus. He walked away. He tells the story. And he walked away from the bus in tears.
I remember, yeah. I watched that there's that series on Netflix,
Yeah.
I think it was, yeah. But it was just incredible. And that's one of the things that you were saying, and this is a big lesson for all of us, is the fact that at NJFC, right, the philosophy and the mindset is like, it's not just developing good players, because you can have a good player on a soccer field, on any soccer field, but it's developing stand-up young men and then young ladies as well, because we're building the women's teams too. But that's something that's really special.
Good players, great people is what we look to achieve.
I like that.
Developing good players and great people. On the pitch, we want them to be comfortable and confident and help them be independent and prosper. Take on the pitch and switch it within life, and it's the same idea. It's the same idea. We want them to be comfortable, be confident, be independent, and prosper in life. It's the same thing. You know, right now we're very lucky. We're a small club. So, you know, our biggest thing is we've had the opportunities to expand massively, but we can't do that without the proper foundations in place. So we can still offer this same quality of relationship building with our players across the board. You know, that is why we're still a small club and we're in our third season. You know, we're growing at a good pace.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. You know, there's tons of enthusiasm outside the club looking to join and come in, you know, to the ever-growing enthusiasm within the club.
Right.
It's making sure we can still offer that same quality of life and of experience to the new players that join and as we grow. You know, because it is something special. It is something, especially when you consider we're cheaper than all the other clubs we compete with. You know, and we offer as much, if not more, than other clubs, on top of the off-the-field things we do.
Right. I mean, that's definitely being more affordable. Again, it's one of those things it's nice, but again, it's
more fair. Affordable, sure.
Right.
The right word is more fair.
More fair. Okay.
We don't need to be charging an arm and a leg.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, we don't want there to be financial barriers to playing youth soccer.
For the quality.
You know, it's the price you pay at NJFC. It's cheaper than having a babysitter watch your kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crazy. And we don't want there to be financial barriers, whether it's, you know, we don't target the middle class, the lower class, upper class. We target soccer junkies, people who are looking to play and just want the experience of playing.
Yeah.
And want to love the game and compete and win. That's what we're about.
That's amazing.
So, you know.
And listen, I mean, and as we're winding down, Bez, I really just wanted to have that one last statement, really the vision for the club. I know you've talked a lot about the mindset, the philosophy, the vision, the statement really that the club wants to make and is making. We're just going in, the spring season is upon us.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then we're going to have a lot of summer camps.
Yep.
Right, a lot of programs in the summer. And then, of course, the fall is where the high school season starts. So everybody's getting prepared for all these seasons that are back to back to back. But what's your vision for the club, just in closing? And what do you have a special message for our audience?
So first thing is, I mean, right now we're super excited. You know, there's always a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Securing facilities, short-term, long-term facilities, you know, new coaching staff members, new competitive leagues and partners to play at higher levels and better competitions. Yeah. You know, helping find other clubs of our size in other areas who want to share best practices and continue to build that community. before this spring season, I just can't wait to get back on the pitch with the kids. Watch the joy that follows every moment of the season. That fresh breath of air the first time we're outside for the spring season.
Yeah.
That's what I look forward to, is just starting that journey, and then the whole journey, and then ending the journey, and then getting ready for the next journey. That cyclical nature of this game is what's so amazing. Because as club soccer ends, college soccer starts,
Right.
and club soccer starts, and it's all just one big cycle of everlasting happiness. So, my only message to the players, the families, is I want you to understand how important your happiness and the experience you have at North Jersey FC is to myself, Jonathan, and everyone else that runs the club and works with the club. If you are enjoying yourself, then we're doing our job. If you're getting better as a player and as a footballing soccer parent, we're doing our job. It's all about the player development on the field, the personal development off the field. That experience and the love for the game is what unites us all. And at North Jersey FC, that's something that we're never going to stop working towards. So with that, I think, first big video for our social media.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Thank you big time. Really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And obviously, tell me how wonderful I was next time you see me.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you.